A very good evening to you and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Dwayne Burbick. We begin with a look at the exchange rate and its movement in the last few days. Movement which has driven some business leaders to call on the Bank of Jamaica to take steps to stabilize the currency. With a look at how the currency has moved and its impact on prices, we join Dashan Hendricks at the Smartboard. Dashan?
We're talking about the exchange rate, the value of the Jamaican dollar vis-a-vis the U.S. currency. And just a few days ago in early September, the U.S. dollar was selling for $131.22, a record high. But since the start of the year, it meant that Jamaicans were paying $3 more for each U.S. dollar purchase, the U.S. dollar having its value going up by just about 2%. Now, compare that to last year at the same time, January to September 2016, when the U.S. dollar was selling for $128. At that time, it meant that between January and September, the US dollar was costing about $7.59 more last year, an increase in the value of the US dollar by 6%. But the exchange rate is not just in a vacuum. People are concerned when the exchange rate affects prices consumers pay, and that's where the cookie crumbles. And let's have some comparison in the 1990s to this year in how the exchange rate affects prices. It turns out that in the 1990s, almost 100% of the slide in the dollar was reflected in prices consumers paid, and it was reflected almost immediately. Now, let's fast forward to 2017, and just only 30% of the slide in the dollar is now being reflected in consumer prices. The Bank of Jamaica says that is because of more competition. The merchants are saying it's because they are taking a lower profit on their products, and it means that they can only pay their workers a small increase in wages, and it affects the cash flow they have to conduct their operations on a daily basis. It's now back to you.
Thanks very much, Dashan. In the meantime, the Bank of Jamaica says it will be auctioning $10 million for each of the next 4 Wednesdays, starting tomorrow. As usual, each bidder will be restricted to 20% of the auction amount, with the lowest bid to be no less than $100,000. And in currency trading today, the US dollar settled at an average $130.45. The Canadian dollar is selling for $106.41. The pound sterling costs $175.34, while the euro is going for $156.15. Losses in cable and wireless, Sagicor and the Scotia Group led the main JC Market Index, down more than 3,151 points, while the Junior Market Index lost 22. The winners of the day included AMG Packaging and Paper, Carreras, Grace Kennedy, Main Event Entertainment, Pan Jam, Radio Jamaica, and T-Tech. On the losing end were 138 Student Living, General Accident, the JMB Group, Mayberry Investments, the Sagicor Group, and Seprod. Now, just before we go, take a look at this. It is the world's largest uncut diamond. British jeweler Graff said it purchased a stone which is roughly the size of a tennis ball for $53 million. The diamond was found in Botswana in 2015 by a Canadian miner. Now, despite selling for $53 million, guess what? That price is below the original reserve price of more than $70 million it was listed in an auction at Sotheby's. And that's the Business Day. I'm Dwayne Burbick. Good evening.